Welcome to Module 6, Data Driven Decision Making for Future Ready Leaders. Because leadership in the AI era isn't about making decisions based on intuition alone. It's about enhancing your instincts with smart data so you can move faster, smarter, with greater confidence into the future. Welcome to the first lesson of Module 6, Why Data Driven Leadership Wins. In this era of AI, complexity, and rapid change, gut feeling alone is not enough. The leaders who thrive are the ones who know how to combine intuition, human centered judgment, and data enhanced decision making. Today, we'll explore why data driven leadership isn't just a technical skill, but it's the new leadership superpower. What is data driven leadership? Data driven leadership is the ability to consistently use accurate, relevant, and timely data to make better decisions faster with greater clarity and less bias. It's not about obsessing over numbers without context, neither replacing human empathy with pure logic, and not becoming robotic and inflexible. Data driven leaders don't worship data, they wield it strategically to sharpen human judgment, to validate assumptions, to spot hidden risks and opportunities faster than the competition. Pro tip: data is not just your decision maker, it's your decision amplifier. Why data driven leadership matters more than ever. Here are some 5 forces driving the need for data enhanced leadership. First, complexity explosion. Projects span global teams, AI systems, regulatory environments, and you can't feel your way through everything anymore. Number 2, speed expectations. Stakeholders expect rapid, evidence backed decisions, not endless back and forth or opinion battles. Number 3, AI and automation growth. AI systems constantly generate insights. Leaders must know how to read and leverage them smartly. And number 4, accountability and transparency. Regulators, clients, and investors now demand data driven proof of decisions, especially in risk management and ESG or environmental, social, governance contexts. And lastly, number 5, talent expectations. Top talents expect to work in organizations that use data ethically, strategically, and intelligently, not guesswork. Data driven leadership isn't just about projects, it's about building future proof, resilient organizations. As a pro tip, in a crisis, instincts move first, but data makes sure you're running in the right direction. Here's the new leadership formula: it's about data, judgment, and empathy. Why data? Use data to spot patterns and hidden opportunities faster. Why judgment? Use it as a human critical thinking to frame decisions based on mission, ethics, and context. And why empathy? Because we use empathy or emotional intelligence to translate data into actions that serve real human needs, not just metrics. This is the new leadership trinity. Data without judgment is dangerous, and judgment without data is outdated. Empathy without both is vulnerable. As a pro tip, future ready leaders don't choose between heart and head. They integrate data, wisdom, and humanity. Let's do a quick activity. You can reflect on this following questions. First question: when was the last time you made a major decision with clear supporting data? Second, how often do you validate your assumptions with real evidence? Third, do you feel confident challenging bad data or gaps in insights? And lastly, are you encouraging your team to think critically about the data they use? You can also ask yourself a couple of questions, such as what additional data would make your decision stronger? And lastly, Who in your team can help gather or validate the data quickly? Leadership is a decision making sport, and data is your most powerful training partner. In the next lesson, we'll break down the critical data skills every leader must develop, even if you never plan to become a data scientist, because the future belongs to leaders who don't just lead with instinct, they lead with intelligence or by intelligence. See you in the next lesson. Welcome to the second lesson of the sixth module, critical data skills every leader must develop. Here's the truth. You don't need to be a data scientist to lead data driven organizations, but you do need to master a new set of leadership data skills. Skills that make the difference between leading with clarity or guessing your way through complexity. So, what leadership data skills really mean? Leadership data skills are not coding Python, building dashboards from scratch, or running machine learning models yourself. Leadership data skills are asking better questions, framing decisions with evidence, interpreting data outputs critically, and guiding teams in data thinking, not just gut reaction. Your job is not to be the smartest analyst in the room, and your job is to be the smartest question asker in the room. So, as a pro tip, in the future, the leaders who ask better questions will outperform those who cling to old answers. Here are the six critical leadership data skills. First, data curiosity. Develop a mindset of curiosity. Ask questions such as, what patterns are hidden here? Or what else could this data be telling us? Or where could data challenge our assumptions? Second, data literacy. It's about basic fluency in reading charts, dashboards, or metrics. Understand basics like mean versus median, correlation versus causation, trend versus noise. Third, data integrity judgment. Know how to spot bad data, biased samples, outdated sources, misleading metrics. Ask questions like, is this data clean, timely, relevant, and ethical? Fourth, storytelling with data. Make numbers meaningful. Translate the insights into simple, human, emotionally resonant narratives that drive action. Number five, data ethics awareness. Understand privacy concerns, bias risks, and misuse consequences. Ask questions like, are we using this data responsibly and transparently? And lastly, number six, decision framing using data. Structure decision discussions around evidence, not personalities. Lead teams to weigh options using data insights rather than just gut feeling. Think of these as your six invisible leadership superpowers for thriving in an AI enhanced world. Pro tip, data fluency will become as essential as digital fluency, but it's the human framing that makes us powerful. How to start developing these skills fast. Move number one, start asking data first questions. In every meeting, you can ask questions like, what data supports this recommendation? Or what data challenges it? Move number two, host a data storytelling sprint. Pick a real project and challenge your team to summarize its performance using just one visual and three key data points. Move number three, practice ethical data red teaming. Run short exercises like, if this AI system made a bad decision, how would we catch it? Or another question, what unintended bias could exist here? This builds critical thinking muscles fast. Skill building isn't academic anymore. It's embedded in how you ask, how you frame, and how you lead every single day. As a pro tip, the fastest way to become data savvy, Start expecting data to show up in every major conversation. Let's do a quick activity on leadership data skills audit. So I'm gonna give the data skill, and you can rate your confidence level by high, medium, or low, and you can address the first step to improve on each data skill. So you can rate yourself on the data curiosity, number one, number two, data literacy, number three, data integrity judgment, number four, storytelling with data, number five, data ethics awareness, and number six, decision framing using data. You can add another mini challenge by picking one skill to focus on upgrading this month. So plan one action per week that strengthens that specific skill. Remember, mastering data skills doesn't make you less human as a leader. It makes you more strategic, more trusted, and more future proof. In the next lesson, we'll uncover the hidden pitfalls that can sabotage even the smart data driven leaders and how to avoid them like a pro. See you there. Welcome to the third lesson of the sixth module, avoiding data pitfalls such as biases, overfitting, and false confidence. Here's a hard truth: data can be your greatest leadership asset, or it can become your biggest blind spot. In this lesson, we'll expose the hidden risks inside data driven leadership and show you how to stay critical, sharp, and ethically grounded in the AI era. Why even smart leaders get data wrong? Here are a few data traps. Number one, we trust numbers more than opinion. Numbers feel objective, but the way data is collected, framed, and interpreted can introduce massive bias. Second is we want to fast, clear answers. In complex situations, leaders crave simplicity, but oversimplifying data can lead to dangerous decisions. Lastly, we fall in love with technology. New AI dashboards can make outputs look scientific, even when they're deeply flawed underneath. Remember, data isn't neutral. Every piece of data you see is shaped by how it was collected, framed, and processed. As a pro tip, numbers can lie, especially when no one questions them. Here are the top three data pitfalls you must avoid. Number one, bias in data sources. If your input data is biased, your insights will be biased. For example, an AI hiring tool trained on historical male dominated hiring data will replicate gender biases. Number two, overfitting. Overfitting happens when a model or decision fits historical patterns too tightly and fails to adapt to new realities. So, for example, basing 2025 market expansion strategies solely on 2019 pre pandemic trends. And number three, false confidence from big data. Just because you have more data doesn't mean you have better data. For example, thousands of customer survey responses, but poorly designed questions. It's equivalent to bad insights at scale. In the AI era, bad data at scale can break a business faster than a bad gut feeling ever could. As a pro tip, data multiplies both wisdom and stupidity, but only critical thinking decides which one. Here are five leadership safeguards against data pitfalls. Number one, always question the source. Ask questions like, where did this data come from? Or who collected it and when was it collected? Trustworthy data starts with trustworthy collection. Number two, validate with cross checks. Triangulate major decisions using two to three independent data points or perspectives. Number three, beware of over specificity. If a prediction feels too precise, so for example, 93.87% chance of success, something like that, Question the assumptions behind the model. Number four, keep humans in the loop. Never fully automate critical decisions without human review, especially when stakes are high. And number five, prioritize ethical data use. Regularly ask questions like, could this data approach unintentionally harm vulnerable groups? Leadership is responsible for ethical outcomes, not just profitable ones. Smart leaders don't just consume data, they integrate it. As a pro tip, if you wouldn't stake your team's reputation on a piece of data, don't stake a decision on it either. Let's do a quick exercise so you can reflect on these questions. First question, have you questioned the source of the data you're using? Second, have you cross checked data with independent sources? Third, are you seeing false precision or overfitting? Fourth, are humans involved in the critical checkpoints? And lastly, are ethical risks being considered and addressed? You can throw in a mini challenge as well. And before you make, for example, if you make a major decision, you can ask yourself beforehand, where could this data be wrong? And what would it cost us if it is? Great leaders in the AI era doesn't mean trusting data blindly. It means trusting yourself to lead through complexity with eyes open, ethics strong, and courage clear. In the next lesson, we'll move from individual leadership to building a full team culture around data driven decision making. See you there. Welcome to Module 6, Lesson 4, Building a Culture of Data Driven Decision Making. Because here's the truth, it's not enough for you to be a data driven leader. You have to create teams and cultures where data driven decision making becomes the default mindset, not the exception. So, why culture beats tools? Well, number one, tools matter, but culture wins. You can have the smartest AI dashboards in the world, but if your team doesn't trust, challenge, and use the insights wisely, the tech means nothing. Second, culture does equate to behaviors, mindsets, and rituals. So it's how your team approaches problems, frames decisions, and questions assumptions daily. Data tools can power a project, but data culture can power a revolution inside your organization. Pro tip, bad data habits don't come from bad technology, they come from leadership ignoring culture. Here are five core elements of a data driven culture. Number one, curiosity first. Celebrate team members who ask, what does the data say? Normalize curiosity over blind consensus. Number two, psychological safety for questioning. Make it safe to challenge data sources, AI outputs, and leadership assumptions respectfully. Number three, decision traceability. Always be able to explain major decisions like what data informed this or what assumptions were made. Number four, critical thinking as a skill set. Build training into how to spot biases, overfitting, false confidence, not just how to generate more data. And lastly, number five, data ethics as a core value. Regularly ask, are we using this data fairly, responsibly, and transparently? Ethical shortcuts erode culture faster than anything else. Leaders who ignore data ethics today risk leading irrelevant or broken organizations tomorrow. As a pro tip, smart cultures don't just use data, they honor it. Here are a few rituals to embed data driven habits in teams. Number one, weekly decision reviews. Review one major decision per week as a team. Ask questions like, what data supported it? What gaps existed? What can we improve for next time? Number two, monthly data curiosity awards. Publicly celebrate team members who ask game-changing data questions. Number three, data ethics town halls. Run quarterly open discussions. Ask questions like, where could we unintentionally be harming or excluding through data choices? Invite uncomfortable conversations. And number four, visualize learning, not just wins. Celebrate projects where a data driven pivot prevented failure, not just where data proved leaders right. The organizations that survive the next decade won't just use AI and data, they'll have cultures that think critically with them. As a pro tip, culture is just the sum of your team's small, repeated behaviors around data every single day. Let's do a quick activity on designing your first data culture ritual. So, the first element, weekly data decision review. Write the details of your first experiment. Same thing, do the following for the monthly curiosity award and the quarterly ethics check in. And on top of it, you can do a mini challenge. You can launch your first micro ritual this quarter. Start small, be consistent, and celebrate learning loudly. Culture is not built overnight. It's built one trusted conversation, one brave question, and one ethical decision at a time. In our final lesson of this module, you'll pull everything together and design your personal data driven leadership blueprint. See you there. Welcome to the last lesson of Module 6, integrating data driven leadership into your programs. So, you've built the mindset, you've learned the skills, you've seen the pitfalls and how to avoid them. Now, it's time to move from learning to leading. To embed data driven thinking deep into your teams, projects, and decision making ecosystems. So we'll start with the vision. What true data driven leadership looks like. First, decisions are faster, smarter, and more ethical. Teams challenge assumptions, not each other's credibility. Data is used as a lens for wisdom, not a weapon for blame. Innovation becomes repeatable, not accidental. Leadership trust rises because actions are backed by evidence and empathy. Data driven leadership isn't about spreadsheets, it's about building teams that can see farther, move smarter, and adapt faster than the world around them. As a pro tip, data isn't the destination, it's the compass for every future ready leader. Here's a 5 point integration framework. The first one, leadership messaging. Consistently communicate. So say something like, in our organization, great ideas and great data equates to great impact. Number two, decision playbooks. Standardized decision templates where data sources, assumptions, and risks must be documented. Number three, data upskilling plan. Create pathways for non technical teams to become data curious, not just data consuming. Number four, ritualized reflection. After every major project, review what data worked, what failed, what did we miss. Build improvement loops. And number five, visible wins. Share success stories where smart data driven leadership led to faster, fairer, or smarter outcomes. The more your team sees smart data habits celebrated, the faster they become the new normal. As a pro tip, celebrate evidence driven pivots even more loudly than evidence proven successes. Let's do a quick activity to build your data leadership blueprint. So I'm gonna be defining the integration area and you can write the details of your strategy. So first integration area is leadership messaging. So you can write your main message. Second, decision playbooks. You can draft key data fields to include in your worksheet. Third, upskilling plan. You can pick one first team training goal and you can define the rest. The fourth one, reflection rituals. You can design one monthly habit and perhaps follow it with the succeeding ones. And the last one, visible wins. You can identify one quick win to spotlight, and after that, you can define the further spotlights. And you can top it off with a challenge prompt. Within the next 60 days, you can launch one new decision playbook template. You can host one team session on smarter data habits, and you can celebrate one public example of evidence based leadership. The future will belong to leaders who are curious, critical, and courageous, not just data consumers, but data translators, system thinkers, and trust builders. You are now equipped to lead with data intelligence, human wisdom, and ethical clarity. So, congratulations. You didn't just learn how to use data, you learned how to lead the future with it. So, your next chapter starts now. Lead boldly, lead wisely, lead humanly. See you in the next module.